Here's an updated twist on a trick that's been seen at kids' birthday parties and in toy store magic sets for years. It involves a balloon and this metal cylinder. The magician demonstrates that the cylinder is empty and appears to be free from magical gimmicks. He carefully slides the cylinder over the balloon so that the balloon is secured inside. Next, he takes an ordinary pencil and, as if by magic, he pokes it through a hole in the cylinder directly into the balloon. Scratch that. Through the balloon. The balloon doesn't break and it looks impressive, but we've seen this before. Now to up the ante. The magician takes a second pencil and, as if you hadn't thought of it, drives this one straight through the balloon from the other side. Now the balloon is trapped in the tube, held in place by the crisscrossing pencils, and it still hasn't popped. Before this illusion defies any more logic, the magician carefully removes the pencils. First one, and then, with a bit more difficulty, the other. Ah, there it is. He slides the balloon out of the metal cylinder. It's still in perfect shape, and the tube is still empty. Another mind-boggling illusion, courtesy of the masked magician. But he's always willing to show you how it's done. The magician begins by showing the balloon and the metal tube that has been pre-drilled to accommodate the two pencils. Other than that, neither the cylinder nor the balloon have been gimmicked in any way. This trick relies on practice, strong nerves, and a healthy dose of sleight of hand. Prior to the start of the trick, the magician secretly twists the center of the balloon, creating a narrow section in the middle. He covers this part of the balloon with his hand. When he slides the tube over the balloon, he's careful to slide his hand down at the same time, so the tube covers the twist. This twisted section will allow just enough space for the two pencils to pass through the holes without puncturing the balloon. Without the magician's hand covering the action, you can clearly see the twist as it enters the tube and is lined up with the pre-drilled holes. When hidden by the cylinder, the pencils have enough room to squeak by the twist without damaging the balloon. After he removes the pencils, the magician secretly untwists the balloon, then slides it out of the metal tube, unharmed. Another brain teaser that is simple, once you know this. Now the magician will present another classic illusion that has confounded audiences since it was invented in 1902. To perform it, he'll need the help of his lovely assistants. Here's one now. As always, she's eager to please. And here come two more. They're quite pleasing too. The magician casts a spell over his assistant, who immediately gets ready for action. The other assistants remove a sheet from a low bench, allowing her to take a seat. They raise the sheet as she stretches back and lies straight across the length of the bench. They cover her with the sheet and stand by while the magician continues to cast his spell. Watch. The girl is floating off the table. Higher and higher, she floats into the air. Below, the magician waves his arm to prove there's nothing supporting her. He takes the sheet and she's gone. Disappeared in midair by magic. Now you know why this illusion is a classic. So, how did the magician make his assistant rise up into the air, then vanish without a trace? Here are the secrets. When the assistant enters, she's placed under a spell and takes her position on the bench. Of course, it's not a real spell, and that's not an ordinary bench. Cleverly concealed are flaps of spandex fabric that match the top of the bench. They disguise a secret compartment below. The compartment is big enough to hold the assistant quite comfortably. We see her sit down onto the bench, then the other assistants raise the sheet. As soon as she is hidden from view, the assistant quickly slips into her secret compartment and closes the spandex flaps. From above, we can see how swiftly she gets into her concealed position. But if she's hidden inside the bench, how does it appear that she's still on top, covered by the sheet? Hidden behind the table is a fine wire body form that's bent into the shape of the reclining girl. The wire form takes the place of the assistant and is impossible to detect when covered by the sheet. Very thin black wires are attached at the head of the form and the feet. They run up to a pulley system concealed in the rafters and down to another assistant who is hidden off stage. Nice. When the sheet is raised, the assistant climbs into the bench and the offstage girl manipulates the rope. This raises the body form, which takes the place of the assistant who's supposed to be lying on the bench. With the sheet on top, no one is any the wiser. When the magician appears to be making the assistant rise, it's actually the body form under the sheet, being pulled up by the thin black wires. Even from this backstage angle, the wires are difficult to see. From above, we can see how the pulleys are raised, taking the form up with them. But with the body form suspended by wires, how does the magician make it disappear when he removes the sheet? Here's another secret. When the sheet is pulled, the form is lifted higher into the air. The careful timing of lighting and camera movement hides the body form from view. From this angle, we see it go. Making a girl levitate and vanish is simple, now that you know. The magician shows off his latest contraption, an elevated stage that is set for a musical and magical performance. He invites a string quartet to enter and take their positions on the stage. They climb the stairs and find their seats, just as the girls come in to help out with the trick. Black ties and a bow. How formal. I guess it comes free with the tuxedos. Hit it, boys! Now there's a level of sophistication we haven't seen before, and won't for long. A curtain is going up. And back down. Where did they go? We can still hear the music, but the quartet has vanished. The magician gestures for the curtain to go back up. And when it comes down, they're back. Still playing, and still classing up the joint. Ah, so soothing. The masked magician has pulled off another one. Okay, so what really happened when the magician allegedly made the orchestra disappear? They're in on the secret, so why shouldn't we let you in on it too? The quartet takes their seats and begins to play as the curtain rises. That's when the secret takes place. The orchestra platform is built on a rotating axle. Behind the stage is a gang of burly stagehands. As soon as the curtain is up, they use all their weight to push down on a steel rod that is welded to the back of the stage. This rotates the entire platform 1/4 turn. The members of the quartet are now resting on their backs. When the curtain lowers, you're looking at a duplicate set of chairs. Here's the move again from above. Watch your backs, fellas. The stairs and the black cloth on the front of the stage conceal the duplicate set of chairs beneath the platform. Here's the switch again from the front, without the drape hiding the magic. Those stagehands are really earning their paychecks tonight. When the curtain is raised a second time, the stagehands get another workout. The men push the musicians back in place just in time for the curtain to lower and reveal them. And that's the secret of how to make a quartet disappear. Here's a simple trick with an ordinary wooden toothpick that will make you the life of the party. The magician displays the toothpick to show that it hasn't been tampered with. He holds it in plain view and makes a few magical waves with his hand. Poof! The wooden pick is gone, vanished without so much as a hint of sawdust left. But where did it go? So how did the magician make the toothpick vanish? The secret is simple and very deceptive. It all comes down to this tiny square of tape. The tape and the toothpick are all you'll need to pull this off and amaze your friends. The magician places the toothpick on the piece of tape and slightly bends the tape around it, but not all the way. The tape attaches to the back of his thumb. Without the glove, it would go right on the thumbnail. Notice that the toothpick points backward when his thumb is extended. This is the key to the trick. The magician carefully removes the pick, leaving the tape on his thumb. The slight bend in the tape forms a sticky pocket for the toothpick. To make it vanish, all he does is open his hands and the toothpick is hidden from view, stuck to the back side of his thumb. Here we see the magician place the toothpick into the pocket in the tape. This action is normally concealed by the fingers of his right hand. Now, he'll slowly open his hand so you can see the movement of the pick. There it is, stuck along the backside of his thumb. From the front, you can't see a thing. Vanishing a toothpick. It's a trick you can nail every time. The magician will now show off with a classic card trick. In this case, the gorgeous blonde is standing in for a random volunteer. She's not in on the trick. He rifles through the deck to show us that the cards are of the standard playing variety. He fans out the cards and asks the girl to pick one and show it to the camera. The 10 of spades. Hey, she's good. Really good. She places her 10 of spades back into the deck as instructed. Without manipulating the cards, the magician places the deck into a clear glass wine goblet. A little magic, and the 10 of spades begins to rise. She seems to recognize it as her card, and it is. A neat trick, but I'm sure it would take diamonds to impress this lovely lady. So how does the magician make the girl's card rise? The secret is in this almost ordinary deck of cards. He has his volunteer select one at random, and this really is a random choice. However, she places the card back into the deck exactly where the magician wants it. He's in control of a special trick card that he wants behind hers. Take a closer look as he places his card on top of the girl's. This special card is equipped with a counterweight, which causes a small pad to rise when the card is turned upside down. Watch again as the little pad rises. On the pad is a small dot of wax that sticks to the back of the chosen card. Look at how the counterweight makes the 10 of spades rise, like magic. Watch it rise again. There's the trick card with the dot of wax. The chosen card is placed in front of it. Then everything is placed into the glass. A few magical gestures, a jiggle of the glass to get things moving, and the magician gets a rise out of the card and, hopefully, the girl. But you know his secret. You've seen magicians make doves magically appear. That's easy. Now you're gonna see them disappear. The magician opens a special box. These are real doves. Nice birdie. He loads the first one into the box, then closes the lid. Now for the second dove. Easy there, little fella. In you go. A little hocus pocus, and suddenly... The doves are gone. How did he do it? You're probably thinking the doves are up his sleeve. Well, they're not. From this angle, we can see that the doves really are loaded into the box. Here's the first one. Now the second. Don't send us any letters. They're not being hurt. The lid is secured, and now for the trick. The lid has a secret compartment where the doves are hidden. When the magician hands the lid to his assistant, she makes sure to conceal the secret compartment. See? There they are. Our two feathered friends perfectly comfortable inside the lid. Not very magical, is it? With the help of this very lovely assistant, the masked magician will now create the illusion of teleportation. Most of the time, assistants are used only as a diversion. Not in this case. Here she is a very important part of the trick. The magician wants you to get a good look at the assistant, and not for just the obvious reasons. He backs her up a flight of stairs and onto a platform. They dance around the top to prove that there is no place to hide. The magician takes out a handkerchief and ties the assistant's arms over her head. In order to make it appear that she is tied really tight, he uses two separate knots. He looks back to make sure she can't escape. Then the magician makes his way over to the second platform. He climbs the stairs, gets into position, and gives the cue. The curtains go up. When they come down, our beautiful assistant has magically been transported to the other platform. Physically impossible? Not really. While this is one of magic's most convincing illusions, you'll be surprised at how easily it's done. First, the magician ties a loose slip knot around his assistant's wrists, so she can quickly break free and drop to the bottom of the platform. But if she's merely hiding, then how could she be magically transported to another platform 10 feet away? Was it mirrors? A holographic image? Take a look. That's right, identical twins. But you need more than just twins to pull off a trick like this. You also need perfect timing and execution. Notice the illusion is staged on high platforms, so the audience can't see where the other twin is hiding. From this angle, you can see that when the illusion begins, she is already out of sight. The magician ties up our first twin, then makes his way to the other platform. When the curtain is raised, she breaks free and hides in a way only a limber dancer could. On the other platform, her twin sister hides in the exact same position, waiting to make her magical appearance. When the curtain is raised, she stands up, red scarf in hand. A warm hug from our magician, and the illusion is complete. Take another look. With the help of our split screen, you can see the simultaneous action. Virtually all major magicians use twins in their acts. And you thought all they were good for were gum commercials.